Okay, let's touch on some lore then. So, Anduin and Sylvanas. This is a fucking great cutscene.
Yeah,
the actors.
Yeah, nailed it.
Seriously, the voicing is great, and actually the script. Sometimes, you know, quite often I'd say, I have a criticism of WoW, that the characters don't really talk like how people would talk to each other.
Oh yeah, they talk like, the criticism I'd always levied at is they talk like they are, I don't even know how to describe it, kind of like the emotional version of Marvel quips, where they're talking like, this is the last time we'll ever speak to each other, so we have to be really kind of flowery and emotive, but not in a way that's like actually natural.
Yeah, it's meant that a lot hasn't resonated with me, but this actually did. And what's nice too is they've done the Sylvanas novel such that the true epilogue bit is in-game. And we've actually got that here.
Yeah, that's
so important.
Yeah, the timing of it was a little bit awkward, I think, for some people, because they're like, wait, Anduin's in the Maw? What? And that was obviously the hint at the book. And then this kind of leads directly into this. So it was like a nice little thing for people. Just the timing was slightly off.
Yeah. Yeah, so... yeah, we find out what that distinctive clank of armor is. And then, yeah, you know, there it goes. And I just say, these lines all really worked. You know, even the whole, like, free will thing, that ties back to a whole bunch of stuff about the Forsaken. It's, like, super important. Anduin, of course, feeling trapped by his role. I think we're finally, as well, seeing Anduin grow out of being a character molded by things. I mean, he's obviously molded now. Yeah, I mean, he is now molded by the experiences he's had, but he's, like, less harshly defined. At the start, he was the little light soft boy, and the whole point is that he was a counterweight to Varian, to kind of like remind Varian of what is right, and to show a sort of a different form of valor. But it did, to a lot of people, leave Anduin being like, okay, look, he's brave. He stands up to Garrosh. That's really brave. But a bit one note, a bit boring. And then he's king. And he's just the best dude ever. Right?
Perfect.
And I think we kind of got bored of him being the best dude ever. Now he's conflicted. A lot of shit's happened to him. The voice, the script, especially the way that this is acted, totally sells that. And it's meant that Anduin is a character that I'd get a bit bored about, and now he's a character I'm really excited about what will happen next. And I think this exchange is actually so good that it means that, like, I'm fine with Sylvanas coming back. I mean, how we got here was obviously totally fucked. But this was a really good scene. They've re-established Sylvanas as Sylvanas quite well in this scene. It's just a big shame. Big shame that over the last 8 months or 9 months, however long it's been, that they didn't do the best job within the game. I mean, even the way that, like, in patch 9.2, you know, do you do anything with Sylvanas? No. Yes. You talk to Bolvar and he plays a YouTube video for you, basically. So you don't experience that stuff with Sylvanas through gameplay, which I think really was like one of the larger narrative weaknesses of patch 9.2.
Yeah, well, I think the entirety of Shadowlands was weak from that point. Yeah. Where even, like, obviously because so much of, like, the questing experience was focused on the Covenants, which didn't pay off well, basically at all for anyone. Nope. Except for super fans of the fairies and Bastion people, Kyrians. I forgot what they're called for a second, Jesus Christ. How could I ever forget Kyrians take flight? But there was definitely a pretty substantial weakness of the overall expansion compared to Legion, where we had the characters, we kind of, clearly they were more intended to be there from the start.
Yeah.
As opposed to this, where it almost felt like a bait and switch, where it's like, and okay, you like all these Covenant characters, you like all these Covenant characters, and they're all important and stuff, and then it's Sylvanas all along. You're like, fuck. Whereas obviously in Warlords and Legion, it was a lot better in that sense, for sure.